Hey, what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here, ZSPN, and welcome to the Lakers post-game show. I'm your host, Zaid, here on ZSPN. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Memphis Grizzlies tonight. As the result of tonight's game, the Lakers come out with a win. I believe they are now 5-2 into the NBA season now. They have now a record of 5-2 in the beginning of the NBA season now, and so far the Lakers are doing pretty good for themselves. There are some players that are really stepping up their game when it comes to added additions to the Los Angeles Lakers, being a good influence on the Lakers, especially when it comes to Montrezl Harrell, and recently with Wesley Matthews, who's been stepping up for the Los Angeles Lakers as of late. I'll give you guys my thoughts and my opinions about specific players that stepped up their roles in this particular game and the results of the game against the Memphis Grizzlies for the Los Angeles Lakers. So without further ado, guys, let's just get right into it. So guys, as a result of the Los Angeles Lakers game against the Memphis Grizzlies, it was a very contested type of game. The Memphis Grizzlies were a bit aggressive when it came to the Lakers in the first quarter. They had a pretty substantial lead in the first quarter, and then it was kind of a back and forth type of scenario in the second quarter. But at the end of the day, the Los Angeles Lakers came up on top in the third and fourth quarter, and that's what I basically want from the Los Angeles Lakers moving forward. This is the consistency that I want from the Lakers when it comes to managing a game and taking a lead when it comes to the third and fourth quarter, because that's where everything is on the line when it comes to the Lakers and them going up against certain opponents. And even though the Memphis Grizzlies were without John Morant, it was kind of an easy win, if you will, for the Los Angeles Lakers. But certain players from that team, they stepped up their role and they were kind of contentious against the LA Lakers. So it was just one of those type of games where the Lakers just needed to play their role and just beat the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, that was just the bottom line for the Lakers to take this win away from the Memphis Grizzlies. And as a result, I mean, there was some improvement when it came to the Lakers from shooting wise and defensively when it came to the third quarter. And you can make the argument also from the second quarter where they took the lead, if you will, by just 2 points. So at any given moment, defense was the main priority for the Lakers when it came to the second quarter. I mean, that's how they regained the lead in the second quarter and just continued on managing the lead that they were on. And as a result, they won the game against the Memphis Grizzlies. So the player of the game for the Los Angeles Lakers was LeBron James. He had 22 points, 9 rebounds, or maybe it was possibly 10 rebounds and 8 assists, something like that. I mean, he was really on his A game when it came down to it. LeBron James was just all over the place when it came to playing against the Memphis Grizzlies, and he was just very out there. He was just doing his thing as always, and he just led the Lakers tonight with 22 points with a double-double out there tonight. So great job out there for LeBron James. Anthony Davis, AD, had 17 points out there tonight. His presence was not really that known out there tonight, due to the dominance of LeBron James and certain players that stepped up their role when it came to, helping the Lakers play a little bit aggressively when it came to, like I mentioned, when the Lakers were kind of struggling in the second quarter trying to regain the lead. I wanted to see more out of Anthony Davis, but I think he probably just needs to just once again, I always bring this up, he just needs to get his bearings in. I mean, it's still the beginning of the NBA season. Sure, they played a couple of games now, but I'm not sure. Maybe Anthony Davis just needs to just get his bearings in and, be that dominant force that he is. I mean, I know he is. I mean, this is Anthony Davis we're talking about, who could, average 20 and give you 10 rebounds a game. I mean, this is Anthony Davis we're talking about, top 5 best player in the league. So, it's just one of those type of players that I know he will dominate when he needs to. So, a solid performance for Anthony Davis. Great job out there for him. When it came to the rest of the Lakers squad, just want to put this out there. Kyle Kuzma started for the Los Angeles Lakers in place for KCP due to, like I mentioned in my last video, KCP suffered a mild ankle sprain. So I kind of think that he still hasn't recovered from that particular injury. Hopefully it's not anything too serious for him to maybe, a day type of scenario for him to come back, because, he is a driving force for the Lakers when it comes to the starting role, being a great defender, and he can shoot as well. So we also witnessed that last season in the playoffs as well. So, in any given moment, hopefully, a speedy recovery for KCP. But, Kyle Kuzma, he did step up. I mean, I'm not going to deny it. He did step up, and especially in the first quarter. He had 6 points, I believe, at the end of the first quarter. As a result of the game, of his stats, he had, I believe, 11 points out there, and I think he went 4 of 9, maybe it was 3 of 9 from the threes. So, I mean, it was pretty close. I don't want to say wrong information. I'll put the correct stats of all the Los Angeles Lakers on this video so you guys can check it out. I don't really have them in front of me, but I just looked at a quick glimpse of the Lakers' performance in this particular game. And I know that Kyle Kuzma averaged 11 points out there as the starter at I believe the shooting guard position for the Los Angeles Lakers. So a solid performance for Kyle Kuzma on that end. Dennis Schroeder, same thing. He had 11 points out there. And then you have Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol, I have to say, he did step up for the Lakers. Let's just be honest here, okay? In the first quarter against his former team, the Memphis Grizzlies, where it all started for him. And, when we traded for Pau Gasol back in, I believe, 2007, where it was a right decision on the Lakers' part. That's how we won 2 championships back-to-back with Pau Gasol and the great late Kobe Bryant. So, as a result of that, Marc Gasol played very well against his team. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, a solid performance for him. He had 6 points out there, or maybe it was 7 points, and he had, I believe, I might be wrong, I think he had maybe 6 rebounds and had 4 assists. I mean, like I said in the beginning of the season for the Lakers on December 22nd, where I put down every single players' analysis of certain players that will step up their role on the Los Angeles Lakers, was that Marc Gasol has a good ability when it comes to being a good vision type of player. He knows how to pass the ball to certain players. He's a good playmaker at certain moments in certain games. And we saw as a result of that, in this particular game, he had 4 assists. I mean, talk about a big man, 7-foot big man who's making, passes like that. So a great, solid performance for Marc Gasol. I truly believe, guys, if he just remains maybe a couple more games under his belt and just knows the system around the Los Angeles Lakers, will be a huge help for the Lakers moving forward when it comes to their ability to have a reliable player like Marc Gasol to be a good defender, and at the same time have a good court vision of being a good playmaker as well in the starting lineup. So a solid performance for Marc Gasol in this particular game. I did mention about the bench, how they stepped up their role, particularly 2, maybe 3 players that really stepped up their role. We had Montrezl Harrell, who had a spectacular night against the Memphis Grizzlies. He had, I believe, 16 points out there tonight, and I think he had maybe 8 or 9 rebounds out there for the Los Angeles Lakers, stepping up his role. It has been maybe a couple days ago that Trez did not really show his presence in the last couple of games that the Lakers won particular games on the road for the Los Angeles Lakers, especially against the San Antonio Spurs. But he stepped up for the Lakers in this particular game. I know it was an easy win for the Lakers, but having some players contribute to the Lakers win gives lots of wonders of how their greatness for being a good contributor to the Los Angeles Lakers. And Montrezl Harrell has shown that even in the beginning of the season and even in the preseason games. So, and even, last season when he was with the LA Clippers, he has the ability to contribute to any team that he's on. And Montrezl Harrell really stepped up for the Los Angeles Lakers, 16 points. I know I'm going to get this wrong. I think he had 8, maybe 9 rebounds out there tonight for the Los Angeles Lakers. So great job out there for him. The player that really struck me the most was Wesley Matthews. For these past couple of days, he has been stepping up for the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, I knew, he just needed to find his rhythm on the team. And, he actually found it with 14 points out there tonight. And I think he went 4 of 5 from the 3. So his presence of his shooting ability, being the 3-and-D type of player that he is, was really a huge help off the bench for the Los Angeles Lakers. I think it all became as a good result of maybe the second and the third quarter, bringing his defensive prowess to this particular game against the Memphis Grizzlies. So I hope he keeps his momentum alive because, the bench so far, it hasn't been really stepping up. I mean, yeah, Montrezl Harrell has been that one player, then at one point Kyle Kuzma, but we just need that other type of player that needs to step up. But that's why when I mentioned the third player that stepped up on the Lakers was THT, Horton Tucker, Tatum Horton Tucker. He was pretty good for the Los Angeles Lakers in the second quarter. I mean, he shot threes, and he was a huge help to the Lakers shooting wise. And I hope he keeps that momentum going into any sort of opportunity for him to gain more minutes and maybe possibly just have that ability to just be a good force coming off the bench for the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, Tatum Horton Tucker, he's just been a huge help to the Lakers so far into the season. And, he's just been a monster in the preseason. And I hope he just brings that mentality going into the season, this whole couple months to go when it comes to, the Lakers mindset of to win a championship, going for another repeat, if you will, for the Los Angeles Lakers. And so far, guys, I'm just loving this team. The team is playing very well so far into this season. And like I said in the beginning, the Lakers are now 5-2 into the regular season. And as a result of this win, it's just looking very bright for the Los Angeles Lakers moving forward. So guys, please comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel, share my videos, and please give me your thoughts about tonight's game against the Memphis Grizzlies. Do you guys think it was just an easy win for the Los Angeles Lakers to get, or do you guys agree with all what I just said? I mean, was there some struggle from the first quarter, and then then the Lakers gained a lead by 2 points in the second, and then just took over in the third and fourth quarter? Or do you think, and also actually give me your thoughts about certain players that stepped up their role. Was it Montrezl Harrell? Was it Wesley Matthews? Maybe a little glimpse of THT. He stepped up his role. Was it LeBron James? I mean, please give me your thoughts about the Lakers' performances in this particular game against the Memphis Grizzlies. I really want to know your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section down below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and please, guys, like all my social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll leave the links to my social media sites in the description of this video so you guys can check out my social media sites. And of course, subscribe to the channel, share my videos, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe out there.